12.11 wipe, we've been greeted with a new map expansion for one of the old classics, Factory, and alongside that a brand new Scav Boss, Tagilla, lurking with inside of the factory. By lore, this is actually Killa's brother, and he has all of the looks and the wisdom that Killa lacks. By no means is this boss an easy boss to defeat, but with that being said, today's video will cover Tagilla in detail, including my favourite ways to go about killing him. Just like normal, we're going to talk about where Tagilla can be located within the factory map first, which is the first major challenge in of itself because he can spawn all over the place. And on top of that, his spawn chance is really low at just 18% chance. However, that being said, from my time hunting him, I have seen him spawning more frequently in a few different spots around the factory map. The most common of which in my experience is around the new medical tent in the far corner of the new expanded bit of the factory map. He could be hiding on the ramp leading from the underground section or by the bunker with the dead scav in it. Usually when he is first spotted he'll be standing still around that area, but it isn't uncommon to see him patrolling this area also. Other than that, he can also be seen in the large underground space in the expanded area. He'll usually be crouched in one of the connecting underground tunnels waiting for a PMC to walk on by, but other times he can be patrolling that large open space and you'll be able to hear him walking about, and trust me, it's pretty eerie. Even though these are the more common spots that you will see Tagilla inside, make sure you are on high alert throughout the whole of the factory map, because if you're not the first person that's seen him, he'll be lurking anywhere, and he isn't a Scav Boss that is just full on aggressive. He likes to jump out in front of you and give you a little fright before he bums you. When you see Tagilla for the first time, you'll notice that he is another lone wolf, much like his brother Killa. But that being said, this guy has enough combat awareness and firepower to take on teams with ease, so don't get cocky. Comparing this guy to Killa, as he is the most direct comparison to this Scav Boss, he will have a primary weapon to engage PMCs from range, and rather than power sliding with a burst of RPK fire like his brother, he'll give chase with his unique sledgehammer, which if you've seen any of the teasers for this boss, you don't need me to tell you how deadly this thing is. He also has a hell of a lot more health than the standard Scav or Scav Boss, or even your little baby PMC. His head alone has 100 HP, his thorax 320 HP, and his stomach 260. This guy's entire body has a massive total of 1220 HP. To put this into a comparison for you, a PMC, which people struggle to kill from time to time, we've all been there, has 440 HP. Killa, you know, the brother, the closest comparison to another Scav Boss we have, only has just over 800 HP. So this guy, definitely the strongest Scav Boss that we have in the game to date, and if you want to knock out and conquer this Scav Boss, dropping at 1220 health points is no easy feat, and that's not to mention the armor that he wears in order to protect himself even more. In terms of the gear that he's rocking, well, as I said, he has a pretty deadly arsenal. His primary weapon is one of a couple of things, usually a shotgun, and it's usually a Sega 12 gauge modded out with a various amount of attachments. But it's not so much the attachments that you guys will need to worry about, it's the ammo that comes with it. Usually paired with this Sega, he'll be rocking AP-20 slugs, or SF and CSP shells, all of which will take you down in a heartbeat. If it's not the Sega 12 gauge though, he'll likely have the new shotgun that has been added along with 12.11. This is the MP155, but not just the standard variant. Oh no, don't be silly, look at him. This is a man of class, and for that, he'll be using the Ultima variant modded out to look seriously tactical. Don't worry, Tagilla isn't just a shotgun fanboy. You can also see this guy rocking a modded out Zenit AKS-74UN with high powered 545 rounds chambered into the magazines. Usually you'll see BT or 7N39 Igolnik chambered in his magazines. Obviously, the primary weapon isn't the only weapon he'll have. As we've seen from all the teasers, he has a signature dead blow sledgehammer, and this thing really does pack a punch. Sitting in his melee slot, this thing will just take a couple of hits to kill any PMC or player scav in his path. And he'll switch to this weapon whilst in close proximity to an enemy, and Tagilla is fast, so outrunning him isn't easy when he has the sledgehammer in hand. The hammer is unlootable, but Tagilla will always have this on his person ready to give chase and take you down. Now I've explained the weapons that this guy will have, let's go over the armor that he chooses to protect himself with. I should start with his headwear. As we know from the teasers before the update, he is wearing a welding helmet. Well, actually, this helmet's not really a welding helmet, it's more of a welding face mask. It comes in two different designs. The more common design is the Gorilla design, but you can also find him with the Obey design in the mask as well, which personally I think looks a lot better. The welding mask is a level 5 protection with a really high ricochet chance, and something that I find really cool, which is unique to this mask itself, is that it's flashbang resistant, which means if you choose to wear this mask yourself, you will have less of an effect when flashbangs hit you, and not just flashbangs, but also the flash shells from the KS-23, which is a blessing. Everyone should be rocking them because that is a menace in of itself. But it doesn't just go for you, this also makes Tagilla less prone to bugging out when being flashed, so bear that in mind. Even if you do get a flash right on top of him, he'll probably only be stunned for a second or so before providing accurate fire back on target. Occasionally you'll see the boss wearing a cap in addition to his helmet. This boss cap honestly isn't anything special, but the cap is still basically the supreme brand in terms of caps in comparison to any other cap in the game at the moment, so it's just a bit of a flex really if you do want to pick it up. In terms of chest rigs, Tagilla will only wear one, and this is the Cry Precision AVS MBAV, a brand new armoured rig added with 12.11, and this is a special variant of the armour similar to how Killa has his own style of chest rig, and this rig will have a massive middle finger painted on the back of it. So a pretty cool armoured rig in of itself, and we haven't even mentioned the armour class yet. It's a full level 6 protection. Our first level 6 armoured rig added in Escape from Tarkov, which covers the thorax, it doesn't cover the stomach. When looting this rig or using it for storage, you'll open it up and see that it has 6 2x1 cells within them, and this is where Tagilla stores a lot of his special items. Usually you'll find Salewas, L1 stims, and occasionally labs access keycards within this rig, and currently that's all I have found, but I'm sure as time goes on we'll see more and more on this guy, like coloured labs keycards or even bitcoins. All Scav bosses have large pockets, so the pockets on Tagilla are actually larger than his chest rig, and they are the largest out of all the Scav bosses. Rather than giving the typical 4 single slot pockets that your PMC has, he has 5 3x1 cell pockets, giving him a grand total of 15 cells to store things in, and this is where I find grenades and his magazines for his primary weapon. In terms of Tagilla's playstyle, he is much like Killa in many ways, however his aggression is much more tactical and he isn't aggroed instantly. He will stay quiet around certain areas that he spawned, moving slowly around that area, and then as soon as he locks onto a player, which he'll do from quite some distance away, he will then move from cover to get closer to you while firing his primary weapon. When he's within a close proximity to the enemy, he will switch from his gun to his sledgehammer and start chasing and swinging. Because he is quite fast, a PMC won't be able to outrun him in a straight line, therefore utilising cover is key when fighting this boss. And not to mention, if you get hit by the hammer, you have a relatively high chance of falling to the floor and an almost guaranteed chance to break your bones, meaning you're not running anywhere. I've gone over everything you need to know about the Scav Boss itself, so now let's talk about how to take Tagilla out. Firstly, because of his increased health, you want to bring a weapon capable of dealing a large amount of damage. High caliber weapons with strong ammo types are your best bet, but personally I think a SKS is a great option when starting out, using something like 7.62 PS ammunition or BP if you're able to acquire it. Since Tagilla is using heavy armor in addition to his large health pool, using anything with low penetration will not do much to the boss unless you're going for limbs. Of course, using ammunition like M995, M61, 7M39 and other late game ammunitions will be your best bet if you do want to take the Scav Boss out quickly. And let's not forget that you do have a Mosin or a Vepr Hunter that also deals a large amount of damage early on, but you have to remember with those weapons the rate of fire is not good at all and the magazine capacity is extremely small. You need to be really accurate when it comes to making every bullet count with the Scav Boss in order to deal any damage to the boss before needing to reload, because when you reload, that's when he's going to bring you to your knees. If you want to choose a weapon with a faster fire rate, then you can always limb Tagilla with an automatic firing submachine gun or assault rifle like an MP5, PPSH, MDR or M4. All of those weapons are a really good bet if you do want to go for the legs. so there are plenty of options in terms of weapons when engaging the Scav Boss. In my opinion, I find Tagilla more dangerous when he is firing at you than when he's chasing you. He has all of the annoying traits that Killa has, meaning that he'll happily power slide into a corner and suppress your position. He'll also lay down in darker areas of the factory map to get more accurate fire on you. So getting Tagilla to actually pull out the sledgehammer is a really good way of going about killing him. So that means actually getting close enough for him to start chasing you, and as I mentioned earlier, he'll push towards you naturally if you engage him, but if you can lure him into an area with a large amount of cover, or some low level cover like boxes or wire spools, then you can play Ring Around a Rosie with Tagilla, and whilst he's running around in circles, it gives you plenty of opportunities to put a few shots on target and continue running. And the reason I say low level cover is good is because you'll be able to shoot over it while running around the object, and he'll still have his hammer out with no way of actually hitting you. It's obvious that keeping on the move whilst he's chasing you is key, and dipping in and out of cover is the best way of surviving him, but I have also found on quite a few occasions when fighting him, if you remain low and really close to the boss as he is swinging his hammer at you, you can put consistent fire on his stomach or legs, and as long as you are using relatively high powerful ammo, you can bring the Scav Boss down before his hammer will kill you. The sledgehammer is a quite slow moving swing in comparison to other melee weapons, and on multiple occasions I have found that if you get within dick sucking distance of this boss and you remain low and crouched, he can't hit you very easily and he won't even do much damage. I don't know whether this is intentional, but I've achieved this fight countless amounts of times offline and online, and it works pretty much all the time that I get a chance to do it. Sometimes getting up close and personal does lead to death though, so another option is to get really long lines of sight on the area in which he spawns, and if you see him, you can take certain opportunities to take him out with some high powered ammo from the complete other side of the map, and he won't lock onto you from that distance. But that being said, finding extremely strong ammunition at the start of a wipe is not always easy. Finding it in hidden stashes is one way to do it, but the way that I've been able to do it is by getting a few early kills on Sturman and then taking Sturman's SVD into the factory map, and I've been able to get a few 2-hit kills on his head while sitting in a pretty high location looking at that area from the other side of the map. It was a really good few fights and nice and easy to kill him if you are hitting with high powered ammo. Tagilla has only been around for a couple of days, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of other ways to combat this guy as time goes on and as the wipe progresses, but considering I've spent the majority of my time playing over the past couple of days hunting Tagilla down, I thought I would discuss my favourite tried and tested ways on killing this Scav Boss. No matter how you take him on though, focus on them weak spots being his stomach, as his chest rig doesn't protect him, and his limbs. This will bring him down quicker as he is so heavily armoured with other locations and he has a lot of base health. Bringing weapons with high tier ammo or a fast fire rate is also another good option, and keeping up close and personal I find to be a really good method, and getting those really long lines of sight. But that's it. Not only was this video giving you a good overview on the methods that I've adopted to kill Tagilla easily, I've also given you an overview on where to find him and what you get from him. But if you do have any other questions or additions, like I said, I'd love to hear from you down below in the comments. Let's discuss 12.11 together. We can discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. I love having these discussions with you guys, but I'll see you down there. Other than that, anyway guys, I thank you all for watching all the way to the end of this video. Your support really does mean a lot to me. It allows me to keep doing what I love to do and get new content out for all of you lot. If you like the video that I just put out, then a like is always appreciated, and if you want to stick around and get updated when I upload, then consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification icon. According to YouTube's analytics, then the majority of people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so if you're someone like that, then why not hit that little button below? It's free and it helps my channel out, so what do you really have to lose, right? And if any of you guys are interested in playing demanding games like Tarkov but are struggling with the performance, why not check out Shadow? Shadow's a cloud gaming subscription service that allows you to access a Windows desktop client with the top of the range hardware located at your nearest data center. Shadow is a service that I still use all the time. Anytime I'm out of the office and need to edit a video or record some footage, Shadow is perfect. They're a company that I really enjoy working with, and they're ideal for anyone who travels a lot or just someone that can't afford a super high powered PC. Shadow's got many people covered as long as you've got a relatively decent internet connection. If you wanted to check Shadow out, then there's a link below that you can go and do your research and find out more about their services. And if you do decide to subscribe to Shadow, then you can use my code SAMOSH and you'll save yourself some money, which is always worthwhile. I'd like to thank you once again for making it to this point in this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.